Cherokee spiritual beliefs are held in common among the Cherokee people, Native American peoples who are indigenous to the southeastern woodlands and today live primarily in communities in North Carolina, the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and Oklahoma, the Cherokee Nation, and United Key-Tower Band of Cherokee Indians. Some of the beliefs and the stories and songs in which they have been preserved exist in slightly different forms in the different communities in which they have been preserved. But for the most part they still form a unified system of theology. The traditional Cherokee spirituality is woven into the fabric of everyday life. The physical world is not separated from the spiritual world. They are one and the same. In her book Cherokee Women, Gender and Culture Change 1700 to 1835, historian Theda Pedue wrote of the Cherokees' historical beliefs 3. The Cherokee did not separate spiritual and physical realms but regarded them as one, and they practiced their religion in a host of private daily observances as well as in public ceremonies. Cherokee cosmology traditionally includes a conception of the universe being composed of 3 distinct but connected worlds, the upper world and the underworld, which are the domains of the spirits, and this world where humans live. 3. Unlike some other religions in the Cherokee belief system, humans do not rule or have dominion over the earth, plants, or animals. Instead, humans live in coexistence with all of creation. Humans mediate between all worlds in an attempt to maintain balance between them. Plants, animals, and other features of the natural world such as rivers, mountains, caves, and other formations on the earth all have spiritual powers and attributes. Theda Pedue and Michael Green write in their book, The Columbia Guide to American Indians of the Southeast 4. These features served as mnemonic devices to remind them of the beginning of the world, the spiritual forces that inhabited it, and their responsibilities to it. Pedue also outlines the ways that Cherokee culture persisted through multiple attempts by Christian missionaries to convert them. Their strong ties to Selu, the Corn Mother, in their creation story put women in a position of power in their communities as harvesters of corn, a role they did not give up easily. The first people were a brother and sister. Once the brother hit his sister with a fish and told her to multiply. Following this, she gave birth to a child every 7 days, and soon there were too many people, so women were forced to have just one child every year. The story of corn and medicine begins with the creation of the earth and animals. Earth was created out of mud that grew into land. Animals began exploring the earth, and it was the buzzard that created valleys and mountains in the Cherokee land by the flapping of his wings. After some time the earth became habitable for the animals once the mud of the earth had dried, and the sun had been raised up for light. 9. According to the Cherokee medicine ceremony, the animals and plants had to stay awake for 7 nights. The reasons weren't well known. Only the owl, panther, bat, and unnamed others were able to fulfill the requirements of the ceremony, so these animals were given the gift of night vision, which allowed them to hunt easily at night. Similarly, the only trees able to remain awake for the 7 days were the cedar, pine, spruce, holly, laurel, and oak. These trees were given the gift of staying green year-round. 10. The first woman argued with the first man and left their home. The first man, helped by the sun, tried tempting her to return with blueberries and blackberries, but was not successful. He finally persuaded her to return with strawberries. 11. Humans began to hunt animals and quickly grew in numbers. The population grew so rapidly that a rule was established that women can only have 1 child per year. 2 early humans were Kanati and Selu. Their names meant the lucky hunter and corn, respectively. Kanati would hunt and bring an animal home for Selu to prepare. Kanati and Selu had a child, and their child befriended another boy who had been created out of the blood of the slaughtered animals. The family treated this boy like one of their own, except they called him the wild boy. Kanati consistently brought animals home when he went hunting, and one day the boys decided to secretly follow him. They discovered that Kanati would move a rock concealing a cave, and an animal would come out of the cave only to be killed by Kanati. The boys secretly returned to the rock by themselves and opened the entrance to the cave. However, the boys didn't realize that when the cave was opened, many different animals escaped. Kanati saw the animals and realized what must have happened. He journeyed to the cave and sent the boys home, so he could try to catch some of the escaped animals for eating. This explains why people must hunt for food now. The boys returned to Selu, who went to get food from the storehouse. She instructed the boys to wait behind while she was gone, but they disobeyed and followed her. They discovered Selu's secret, which was that she would rub her stomach to fill baskets with corn, and she would rub her sides to fill baskets with beans. Selu knew her secret was out and made the boys one last meal. She and Kanati then explained to the boys that the two of them would die because their secrets had been discovered. Along with Kanati and Selu dying the easy life the boys had become accustomed to would also die. However, if the boys dragged Selu's body 7 times in a circle, and then 7 times over the soil in a circle, a crop of corn would appear in the morning if the boys stayed up all night to watch. The boys did not fulfill the instructions completely, which is why corn can only grow in certain places around the earth. Today corn is still grown, but it does not come overnight. During the early times, the plants, animals and people all lived together as friends, but the dramatic population growth of humans crowded the earth, leaving the animals with no room to roam. Humans also would kill the animals for meat or trample them for being in the way. As a punishment for these horrendous acts, the animals created diseases to infect the humans with. Like other creatures, the plants decided to meet, and they came to the conclusion that the animals' actions had to be too harsh and that they would provide a cure for every disease. 12. This explains why all kinds of plant life help to cure many varieties of diseases. Medicine was created in order to counteract the animals' punishments. The Cherokee revere the Great Spirit Unutlanvi Creator, who presides over all things and created the earth. 17. The Unutlanvi is omnipotent, omnipresent and omniscient, and is said to have made the earth to provide for its children, and should be of equal power to Deunisi, the water beetle. The Wananoe manuscript adds that God is Unutlanvi, maker of all things, and Kalvulftirhi, the one who lives above. In most oral and written Cherokee theology, the Great Spirit is not personified as having human characteristics or a physical human form. The Cherokee traditionally hold that signs, visions, dreams, and powers are all gifts of the spirits, and that the world of humans and the world of the spirits are intertwined with the spirit world and presiding over both. Spiritual beings can come in the form of animal or human, and are considered a part of daily life. A group of spiritual beings are spoken about as little people, and they can only be seen by humans when they want to be seen. It is said that they choose who they present themselves to and appear as any other Cherokee would, except that they are small with very long hair. 20. The little people can be helpful, but one should be cautious while interacting with them because they can be very deceptive. 21. It is not common to talk about an experience one has with the little people. Instead, one might relay an incident that happened to someone else. 10. It is said that if you bother the little people too often, you will become confused in your day-to-day life. 20. Although they possess healing powers and helpful hints, the little people are not to be disturbed. Traditionally, there is no universal evil spirit in Cherokee theology. An Astuna is any sort of spirit, but it is usually considered to be a malevolent one. 22. Ua, sometimes called Uaga, is an evil earth spirit, which is invariably opposed to the forces of right and light. 23. Nanaeanuwai, dressed in stone, is an evil spirit monster who preys on humans. Kalana raven mockers are spirits who prey on the souls of the dying and torment their victims until they die, after which they eat the hearts of their victims. Kalana are invisible, except to a medicine man, and the only way to protect a potential victim is to have a medicine man who knows how to drive Kalana off, since they are scared of him.